Once upon a time, someone had a dream for Broadway's first disco musical. It would be called Got to Go Disco. The Times announced, Got to Go Disco will open at the Minskoff in 1979. It will have 5 or 6 composers, a cast of 35, at least one director, perhaps 2, that's a direct quote, and a person called a creative director as well. It will also have Lucite, 170 feet of which will wrap around the orchestra floor of the Minskoff, and more of which will be up on the stage. What it will not have, apparently, is anyone who has ever done a Broadway musical before.
Now, one of the show's 4 producers, Jerry Brand, said, I view this as the Ziegfeld of the discos. The sets are pure glamour. The Times critic asked him, what about the critics? There will be so much happening, Mr. Brand said, the critics won't even be able to find the mistakes.
Just imagine the Broadway world dread if someone said that to me.
They'll be like, I take that as a challenge.
And they did. The story was about a girl who doesn't like disco. Her boyfriend, played by Patrick Jude, convinces her to go to the Dream Palace discotheque. She is dressed in metallic disco garb, dressed up by her friends at the dress shop where she toils. She dances brilliantly, flees, is almost thwarted by an evil stepmother, Patty Carr, and stepsister, and returns to become queen of the disco. Cinderella.
Now, to some, the show seemed like an extended commercial for New York's best-known disco, Studio 54. And do you know who appeared in Got to Go Disco? Studio 54's bartender and Studio 54's bouncer. Yeah, isn't that amazing? Multi-talented. The show's publicist quit because she heard a rumor that there was coke money in the show, and on the first night of previews, the band missed every one of the 32 musical cues. Previews were called off and postponed, and a press agent stood in the Minskoff lobby each night and announced that the performances were off.
Those are tickets from a performance that didn't happen. The reviews were not flattering. Rex Reed of the Daily News said about Got to Go Disco, no wonder a whole generation is growing up retarded.
Thanks, Rex Reed.
Many critics commented on, this is interesting, many critics commented on the fact that the point of disco was to participate, which you couldn't do at the show, and relax into a repetitive beat and block out your other senses, which is hardly what you would want to do at a show. But there were some very, very cool things about the production, like hearing disco music performed by a 25-piece live orchestra. That's pretty awesome.
And the lead character, Cassette, or Cassie for short, was played by a 20-year-old, don't pop your head, 20-year-old named Irene Cara, who received good reviews. Playing the male lead, Patrick Jude received accolades as well. One review said, he managed to convey a touching humanity. Now here to speak about Got to Go Disco and sing his big number, Cassie, from the show, Patrick Jude.
Got to Go Disco. As I pondered, that was a long time ago. Yeah, that was about 32 years ago for me. Anyway, timing is everything in show business, especially with that show. It was all that what they mentioned. The problem was that show was 3 years too late. Unfortunately. However, the music in the show was really spectacular. So they had writers like Ashford and Simpson, and the choreography, George Faison, JoJo Smith, just to name a few. There were about 3 others, you know. I don't know what that was all about, but it finally got down to one, George Faison. The opening of the show was, to this day, I have never seen anything like it. Talking about these flat screens that we have here, well, at the Minskoff Theater, which was fairly new at the time, the stage right was a screen that was 20 feet by 30 feet. Stage left, the same thing. And in the middle of the stage center was the same thing. The opening was absolutely spectacular. After that, it went all the way down. Unfortunately, the because it would have came back up if we had to use the glass bubble that I and my leading lady, Irene Cara, was going to just, fly off to the promised land. It didn't happen because Mr. Jerry Brandt, of course, the genius that he was, he failed to call the fire department and get the permit to have such a thing rigged in the theater. So that was a $100,000 piece of equipment that was just stage right. The only people that were so happy about it, because every day when I would go to rehearsals and doing the tech for the show, all the stagehands, they were so happy. They were like having lunch, everything. I couldn't believe it. I said, what's this all about? I said, Patrick, I bought my house with this show. Delaying the previews. We making money over time, everything like that. Unbelievable. Anyway, opening night, unfortunately, Irene Cara did not make the opening night. So I have to now go on with an understudy. She was fabulous. Her name was Jerry Griffin. She absolutely was fabulous. And the reason being is that Irene left the show prior to the opening. Now, there's a reason for this. During a rehearsal, about 3 days before the opening, she comes into my dressing room and says, Pat, I can't be here too much longer. I got an audition today, and I'm going for a thing called hot lunch. I said, what? He said, hot lunch? Are you the porn on that? What was it? Hot lunch? What is this? I said, no, it's a new movie. It's about a school. Whatever. I said, all right. Anyway, need I say, that turned out to be fame. So, crazy. So there I am. I had 3 days to do the show with my understudy, who was absolutely fabulous. But the song that I got to sing in that show, it was a wonder. Like I said, the music was really, really super. At least I thought so. And it just. By the way, the poster, which you have the poster there, if you could see the poster where it says, album available on Casablanca Records and Tapes. When you can find that, let me know. I'll sell you the Brooklyn Bridge. I really will. Yeah. So, without further ado, I'm going to sing this here song. Didn't have the eyes, couldn't see what was wrong with me. Love in a loose affair, while it stood right in front of me. Am I to blame? No time to wait. I must find my angel. I could have found the dream, but we're apart now because of me. She stood there like a queen, with her heart open wide for me. Is she okay? What will I say? Will I get another chance? Cassie, lonely girl wandering. Ooh, let me offer you everything. Now I can build my life, now that I know what it's made of, and we don't have to be